The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey there, gang. Welcome, 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 welcome. Great to have you. Let's see. Just want to do our usual sound check, video check. I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing and hopefully see what you're seeing I'm seeing. I've got this little monitor happening over here, but you never know with the technology. So if you can hear me and see the slide that says sell more speaking and coaching, consulting, whatever, please type yes in the question box. And let's also see who's here today. And always fun to do these live masterclass webinars. So I just want to make sure that everything is coming across loud and clear. Gabby saying hi from Israel. Matt and Maria, Tim, Raymond, Carrie, Mike. Oh, we got the alumni club in here. We got the alumni club. We have all the fabulous folks from our mentoring program just coming in for a recharge, just coming in for a reboot and some reinforcement and some additional motivation. So that's fantastic. Ariel is here and Maria from Kansas City, Matt from Baltimore via Utah. I guess there's a story going on there. Can't wait to hear about that. And good. Okay, so everything is ready to rock and roll here on our end. I've got the top of the hour. Let's get right to it. You can see, you can hear. Hopefully you've got a caffeinated beverage of some kind to keep you company. And let's dive right in. So you are in the right place. If you are an already successful speaker or consultant or expert, maybe you're tired of getting beat up on price pressure, price objections, not being able to find your fee in the marketplace. Maybe you're someone who is out there chasing prospects and you're playing the disappearing prospect game. Voicemails not being answered, emails not being answered, can't find enough good leads that have a decent budget to bring you in. It could simply be that you want to earn attention, trust, and sales faster than you're doing so right now. And essentially, you're looking for quicker, smarter, better ways to market and sell your speeches, your keynotes, your seminars, training, consulting, online products, online courses, services, programs of any kind. So if that's you, you are in the right place. That little push pin in the lower right-hand side corner that says you are here. You are here. I'm glad you're here. And we're going to give you some good strategies and tactics and insights to help you do some of these things and get away from some of that craziness. Now, you may have seen this on Facebook. You may have seen this in some of the emails that I was sending out. But about 6 months ago, because it's the second time that we've done this, second or third time that we've done this particular webinar, and I always change it up. There's always fresh content, always fresh material. So even if you think you've seen this before, you haven't, because I was changing slides last night and this morning. But this is my 3:09 a.m. revelations. I literally sat bolt upright. I was traveling. I was out in California, Laguna Beach, California, to be specific. Sat bolt upright from the jet lag at 3:09 a.m. And I grabbed my journal and I started writing down 5, 6, 7 themes and concepts that almost everybody gets wrong and that our clients and that our mentorship helps you get squared away, implemented, and get results from the right way instead of the wrong way, the goofy way, the broken way, the sad way. So this is the 3:09 a.m. revelations. I want to just check in with you guys right now as far as those revenue streams that I mentioned. I want to ask you, and put this answer in the question box, please. What do you sell now? So as far as those keynotes, seminars, workshops, training, consulting, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, do you have an online course? Do you have an online product? Give me the mix and type that in the question box, because that will really help me shape some of the examples and some of the discussion that we have, especially during our big Q&A at the end here today. But what is it you're selling now? And then what would you like to sell more of? What is it that you're selling now? What are some of the investable opportunities on your menu now? Keynote, seminar, training, workshop, coaching, consulting, facilitation, CEO roundtables, licensing, certification, sponsorship, online course, products. The range is unlimited. What do you sell now? And then what would you like to sell more of? And because, of course, this is called Sell More Speaking and coaching and consulting and whatever, I want to help you with all of those things, not just the speaking side. And most speakers, of course, most speakers sell more than just speaking. That's one of the things that we tell all of our clients and all of the folks in our mentorship program is that this is a speaking plus 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 revenue model. Speaking plus 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 revenue model. So let's see what people have here. We've got, I was scrolling by really fast, so this is great. One-on-one and workshops, says Gabby. Diane is doing one-on-one coaching, group coaching, presentations, online courses, books. Would like to sell more of everything, but especially on the digital side. Casey says, like to sell more one-on-one high-ticket executive coaching. Love that. Licensing, online courses, and products. Super. Alan says, online education program, adding a speaking stream and a courses and a coaching stream. Connor, the crazy Irishman, is here. Want to sell more online programs and audio. Mariah says, half day, full day workshops on productivity and organization. Sam is doing creative problem solving, public affairs, issues, and crisis management. My main man, Lou Lessig, is in the house. Keynotes, breakouts, training, consulting. Wants to sell more speaking and training. Matt says, man, so I'm telling you, this is it. You guys are doing it. This is the speaking plus 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 revenue model, and you're doing a great job. I would think about focusing in on one or two things that you'd like to sell more of. I think the danger and some of the distraction that might be causing you some slowdown in your business is you're selling 17 things and you want to say, I want to sell more of these 17 things. And that is very, very hard to push 17 boulders up the hill. Let's just grab a couple more out of here. Marnie's here. Awesome to see you, my friend. She sells keynotes, breakouts, online courses, coaching, growth campaigns, and has a radio talk show. Margaret says more of the same, live presentations not going online, and that's huge. I mean, when you know what you don't want to do, there's a whole area of distraction and busy work that you don't need to get involved in. And Francis is here. Great to see you. Speaking, coaching, workshops, training. Wants to sell more speaking and coaching. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Very, very nice. Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to help you escape the stuckness curve. Some of these are my 3:09 a.m. revelations. Help you escape the stuckness curve, talk about what the stuckness curve is and what it looks like for beginning, intermediate, and advanced, already very successful speakers. Why you have to stop looking for gigs and stop chasing down gigs. The power of unfocusing, how to stop sharing your expertise and actually help more people and get more gigs on the calendar. How to stop paying your dues and start paying your bills, and then some next steps to help you make it happen. Also, of course, as always, we have a big Q&A scheduled for the end, so do hang around until the end so that we can get your personalized questions answered and get you the answers and the insights that you need to move ahead from where you are to where you'd like to go. 3 bad sales habits that are sabotaging your future business. And we're going to do a poll. There's going to be a poll. I'm just telling you, get ready. Jot down some notes. If some of these sound familiar, please let me know. We'll try and fix these along the way. First one is, I see so many speakers, consultants, coaches, thought-leading experts where it's a me-centric message. So there's no value prop to the client. There's no value prop to the audience. But it's me, my book, what I do, my course, my methodology, my training, my tools, my model, my technology. That commoditizes you, my friends. That is a source of same-o, lame-o languaging and messaging. You have a really hard time with articulation. You have a really hard time with distinction. No one's going to jump up, stop what they're doing, and say, oh my gosh, I really want that. I really want that jizzle whizzle XYZ to the 10th power factor supercharged business model. No one says that because you're using jargon, lingo, buzzwords, and it's a you-centric message. The worst part about this is it commoditizes you as a generalist So now everyone thinks that you're generic, and you're basing that marketing, messaging, and outreach on guessing, hoping, and winging it, because you're not really solving a specific problem for a specific set of people. That's no value prop. That's sales problem number one. A lot of people think it's a marketing problem. It is not a marketing problem. It starts as a marketing problem, but it ends up as a huge sales obstacle. So if you're wondering, well, gosh, why are people not buying from me? It could be that you're talking about me, instead of talking about them, and their problems and their meeting and their conference and their members and their employees and their team and their goals and their outcomes. Second one, no target market. So lack of decision, lack of definition. So if you're trying to market to everyone, you're really marketing to no one. What does that cause to happen? That causes offerings that are all over the map, no depth of expertise. Your perception is of an amateur or a dabbler. It's a very low confidence approach to the marketplace, because you're saying, hey, I'm here. I can provide whatever you want to buy. I don't have any particular expertise. I'm not helping any particular group of people. This is anything, anywhere, anytime for anyone, which means nothing, no time, nowhere for no one. So you absolutely don't want to put off this decision. You absolutely don't want to put off defining the target market that you serve best and that you want to serve the most. Number three, and I guess I see this one even more often than the other two, is no proactive, disciplined sales process. And you want to write down in your notes there, disciplined and proactive. What does disciplined and proactive really mean? It means rain or shine, happy or sad, feel like it or not, you are doing sales activity that brings a client or a prospect one step closer to writing you a check. If you're not doing that on a daily basis, I would say you have no proactive, disciplined sales process. So what does that cause? That causes accidental selling. That causes you never know mindset. You never know where the next client's coming from. You never know where the next prospect might come in. I'm going to go down to the chamber because you never know. I'm going to go down to the little broke-ass loser meeting because you never know who's waiting there for me. Random tactics that lead to random results. Every sale goes down differently, and it's a very reactive, it's not a proactive, professional, disciplined sales process. So I'm going to ask you, which one is yours? Which one is yours? You can number these 1, 2, 3. I will review for you. So you can pop this in the question box. Number one, you don't feel your value prop is really where it could be and should be. It's more about you than about the problems that you solve. So that's either number one, or type in no value prop in the chat window. Number two is you have not yet made a decision or a definition on the perfect fit target market that you want to serve. You're still trying to boil the ocean. So write in number two, or no target market. And then number three, which is perhaps more pervasive, is no sales process, accidental selling. You get them when you get them. You don't when you don't. And there's days or weeks or even sometimes months that go by without a sale because there's no proactive, disciplined sales process. So type in no sales process or number three. If you have 1 and 2, type in number 2. You got 2 and 3, type in 2 and 3. You got 1, 2, and 3, type in 1, 2, and 3. I know I've experienced all of these, guys. I've experienced all of these early in my career. None of them are fun. None of them are fun. But if we diagnose it now, we can help you fix it. If we diagnose it, we kind of peel back the comforting self-delusions that, hey, I'm okay with my value prop. I'm okay with my messaging. I'm okay with my prospecting. I'm okay with my sales process. Tear the Band-Aid off now. Let's face the reality of where you're at, and let's get you to where you want to go much faster and much more quickly. And I'm curious what people are saying about the 1, 2, or the 3, where you see your biggest gaps in this whole area. And we're not going to call out names necessarily, so I'll preserve any embarrassment. There shouldn't be any embarrassment. It's just reality. I see a lot of 3. I see 3, 3, 3. 3 could use some tightening up. 3, no sales process yet. Another 3, we got 2, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 2, number 3 all the way, all 3, OMG, all 3. I like that answer. OMG, all 3. Number 3, combination of all. Yes, exactly. okay with 1 and 2, and not 3. Well, that's cool. That's cool. So okay with 1 and 2, 3 is a problem area. So even, I mean, guys, give yourself props. Give yourself props if you have some of these dialed in. A lot of people have 1 doing okay, and the other 2 are kind of funky. Some people have 2 dialed in pretty well. The third one is funky. I have yet to meet someone who has all 3 of these dialed in to the extent that they're fully happy and satisfied in all 3 dimensions. But if that's you, hey, I'd love to hear about it. That's awesome. All right, 5 big mind shifts. Getting back to my 2:09 a.m. revelations. First shift is about this thing I call the stuckness curve. And you might think, okay, the brand new people, the folks that we call emerging speakers, new speakers, they're 1 to 3 years in the business, they're charging $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Some of those people are stuck, and of course, some of those people should be stuck. The intermediate, right, what we call the track 2 speaker, right, 3 to 5 to 7 years into the business, charging $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 fees. A lot of those people are stuck, and that's always amazing to me because these folks should already have it dialed in, should already have it figured out. And then we have the experts, right? The seasoned speakers, we call them track 3. And we've got clients, of course, in all 3 of these buckets. We help the emerging folks. We help the already successful folks. We've even had some rock stars and some members of the NSA Speaker Hall of Fame, 25, 30-year veterans, come to us when they want to repivot, reboot, reinvent their speaking-driven business. Maybe their clients are retiring. Maybe it's time to refresh their marketing. Maybe they've been out of touch. Maybe they have a new book coming out or a new angle on their topic. But I'll tell you, this is typically what happens. And you would think that the people that have this dialed in the most are the least stuck. But what I'm telling you is based on working with over 550 speakers and experts and consultants in our mentorship program, it's often the people in the middle that are so close and that all they need is a 5 or 10 or a 15% shift to get unstuck, but they've tried everything. They've thrown a whole bunch of spaghetti against the wall, and nothing, the combination tumblers still haven't clicked in to unlock the safe yet. So what I would recommend here is if you're in that intermediate category, or even if you're in track 1 or track 3, first insight is don't be so sure. Don't be so sure. Here's what I mean by that. Be willing to flex your delivery modes. Be willing to adapt your topic and your focus. I'm not saying throw it out and be someone you're not, or change topics, or change, but pay very close attention to, is your messaging resonating in the marketplace? And if it's not, be open to revise your messaging. And most important, don't be so committed to what you want to sell and get ultra focused, super focused on what your clients and prospects really want to buy. What do they want to buy? What do they want to solve? And how can we pivot your messaging by that 5 or 10 or 15% so that you are a bullseye, exact match for what they want to solve and what they want to fix? And then, of course, you want to aim first to help and serve, not to pitch or to peddle. So here's how to flex. I mentioned 5, 10, 15% shift, moving away from marketing to your audience and more towards marketing to your buyers. I'll give you some examples. Is your leadership message aimed at the workers, or is it aimed at the managers and the leaders? Because leadership training is not bought by the workers who are in your class. Leadership training is bought by the leaders and the executives. So do you have an audience-centric sales program or a buyer-centric sales program? Audiences clap and buyers buy. And there's a huge difference. And that might be a little value bomb to take away from this masterclass. Are you marketing to salespeople who don't buy sales training if you're a sales expert? Or are you marketing your sales training to sales managers where those purchasing decisions are being made? If you're in the healthcare field, are you marketing to the nurses who are your end users and your audience members? Or are you marketing and is your value prop aimed at nurse managers and chief nursing officers? The perspective and the ownership of the problem determines how successful your marketing messages will be. If you market to the person that owns the problem, that is the person who is responsible for investing in the solution, aka investing in you. So that's a huge flex point that a lot of people miss. I'm curious, based on just that first insight, we've got 4 more to go. How much more money do you think you could sell using this one technique of flexing away from your end user audience messaging and flexing towards the actual economic buyers and decision makers? Just looking over the last 12 months, I'm curious, how much more money could you sell? Could you have brought in? Looking at the previous sales conversations you've had, looking at the folks that have said yes to you or said no to you, even if you had a sale, do you think that sale would have been higher, $10,000 higher, $50,000 higher, $30,000 higher, $5,000 higher? Would it have had a higher fee if you had sold it using buyer language as opposed to audience language? And I'm curious what people think about that first shift, about really focusing on what they want to buy and not focusing quite so much on what you want to sell. So yes, 10,000, 15,000, 25,000, at least 100K over the last 12 months, thousands more, probably 25,000 at least from changing the audience to the buyers. OMG, too much to calculate. Yeah, you guys get it. You guys get it. Exactly right. Exactly right. So let's think about how we can do that for you. Let's think about how we can do that for you. Whoops, hello. Going click crazy here. A little too much clicky time. There we go. So I'll tell you, one of our clients, one of our success stories that we're still very, very happy with is Michelle Cederberg. She came into our mentorship program, and we had this exact conversation about how do you get on the phone, how do you focus on the buyer problems, how do you first serve and help, do not pitch and peddle, but first have an exploratory conversation about serving and helping. And here's what she said. Proof that, and this was last fall, proof that it's always best to get on the phone to discuss possibilities and to go into the conversation with a confident, I can help you mindset. My client call ended in a full fee booking for February 2018, 7,500, boom, easy, done. I love this stuff. And it gets even better from here because Michelle then went on to land 2 additional gigs at that fee level. And previously she was having kind of a hard time getting 35, 4,500 in the door. With this new clarity, with this new buyer focus that I'm telling you guys that you need to have, the buyer focus, the value conversation, the intent to serve and help and not to pitch and peddle made all the difference. And then these gigs just started landing. They just started landing. Second shift is a 6-phase sales process. So we talked a moment ago about the sales cycle. I'm curious, which one is a problem for you guys? Is it the beginning of the sales process, finding buyers who can afford your speaking, coaching, and consulting? Is it the initial outreach, connecting with serious prospects who have a budget? Is it about getting the initial conversation going? Is it about getting a second conversation where they're not ghosting you? It's not disappearing prospect syndrome. Is it in the negotiation phase, 5th phase of the process, or is it in closing the deal? Gaining commitment, getting the check, closing the deal. So I'm curious, just from a process standpoint, right? Finding and connecting is the beginning, the top of the process. Initial meeting, second meeting is the middle of the process. Negotiating and closing is the third piece, the final part of the process. Just type in 1, 2, or 3, which one you have the biggest problem with. Is it finding and connecting? Type in 1. That's the first third of the equation. Is it initial conversation, second meetings? That's the middle, right? That's the heart of the relationship building and discovery and prescription phase. Or is it getting over the finish line? Is it negotiating the fee, closing the deal, getting the check, getting the deposit, nailing the commitment? And if that's the case, then type in 3. I'm just curious, are you stuck at the top? Are you talking to plenty of people and stuck in the middle? Are you talking to people, taking them almost to the finish line, and your only problem is getting commitment at the end? And let's see what folks are saying about this one. So Diane's saying 1. Actually, the other parts aren't too hard, which is great. Francis is 2. Jane says initial. Ariel says 1. Matt says 1. Finding and connecting says Joe. Initial meeting says Francis. Initial conversation says Mary. 1 and 2 from Jerome. One from Mary. 2 from the other Mary. 1 and 2. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Raven says initial conversations and to whom? And to whom? Who do I connect with? Who are the magic people that can bring me in? And then ML says initial conversations as well. All right, good. Well, so let's see if we can get some clarity on why that's happening and how to do a better job. The first thing I would encourage you to move away from is low fee opportunities. Low fee gigs, because the world is made up of two kinds of buyers. I don't care if we're talking corporate, association, conferences, conventions, meetings. People buy who they are. People as buyers have an identity of the kinds of speakers that they want to bring in based on who they are. Meaning there are Timex people who will buy a Timex speaker, and there are Rolex people who are looking for and would only think of hiring a Rolex speaker. So what happens is when you move upstream, when you move into a premium position, or at least you move out of the low fee commodity position, you will turn off the freeple. The freeple are the ones that want to pay you nothing, or $500 or $1,000 or $1,500 or some subpar fee. You're going to turn off the freeple. You're going to repel the cheaple, and you're going to finally attract your people. So many of our clients are deathly afraid of turning people off, turning people away. Oh my gosh, if I charge $55, $65, or $7,500, my current clients would never hire me. Well, yeah, but your current clients are killing your bottom line. Your current clients are who's keeping you stuck at the plateau of the revenue level that you're at now. So let's say you want to make $200,000 a year. There are many ways to make $200,000 a year. One is to do 200 gigs for $1,000. I'm telling you, that is not a recipe for success. The other way to do it is to get 2 clients that will pay you $100,000. And then, of course, you can do all the mathematical variations in between, right? It could be 100 clients at 2,000. It could be 50 clients at 4,000. It could be 40 clients at 5,000. So dialing in where you want to play and knowing the game that you want to win. I don't want you guys to win the $500, $1,000, $1,500 speaker fee game, because that's a loser's game. You want to have positioning, packaging, marketing, and messaging that totally turns off the freeple, that repels, literally repels, pushes away the cheaple, so that you attract the people who are already looking for the 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, in some cases 10,000, 12,000, 18,000. If you look at our client base, we've had $15,000 speakers, $18,000 speakers, 15 that wanted to get to 18, 18 that wanted to get to 20, 5 who wanted to get to 7. We've had some people come in that say, I've never been paid more than $1,000. And they're very successful and very accomplished in some other area of their career. And we got them to 7,500 almost instantly. They did not have to work their way up. That's another big myth, you guys. It's another big myth. Oh, I got to work my way up. First, I'll go broke doing 1,500. Then I'll go to 2,000. Then I'll go to 2,500. Then someday I'll go to 3,500. I'll just work my way up. And I'll spend months and years going broke. And then maybe 5 years from now, I'll be able to charge 7,500. We have had startling, and I mean startling, success stories of people going from 0 to hero, right? 0 to 60 miles an hour in a single bound. We take the folks that are going 60 miles an hour, get them to 100, and we take the folks that are going 100 miles an hour and get them into hyperspace. So this is not about a slow, gradual, incremental process that's going to kill you and kill your bank account. This is an immediate marketplace adjustment, so you get the fees that you deserve on day one. Let me repeat that. I want you to write that down somewhere. An immediate marketplace adjustment so that you get the fees that your clients want and need and expect to pay you. Underline expect. Your premium clients are expecting to pay, premium fees from day one. From day one. No slow, painful climb up the mountain. Helicopter straight to the top, marketplace adjustment so that you are earning the fees that you deserve, not someday, not next year, not 3 years from now, but next week or next month. I'm wondering, having heard that rant, be totally honest, I'll keep this one anonymous, so we're not going to worry about names on this one, but I do want to hear from you. I do want to take the pulse of the group. Have you wasted too much time and energy selling to Timex buyers? Have you wasted too much of your precious life, your hours, your days, your weeks, too high of a percentage of your career trying to find clients and audiences who can quote unquote afford you at the expense of that immediate marketplace adjustment where people know you, love you, happily pay the premium fee because they know you're worth it? And more importantly, because you know you're worth it, and that's why you charge it in the first place. So if you've wasted too much time and energy selling to Timex, Lord knows I have. Lord knows I have. And Teresa on my team will tell you, Morgan on my team will tell you, MH on my team will tell you that, been there, done that, bought the t-shirts. I have made all of those mistakes for years and years and years. Takes a while to realize there's another side of the coin, and that you can go from zero to hero with an instant marketplace adjustment, find great clients, get great fees without the incremental, slow, painful slog up the mountain. So I'm curious just who has had this experience right along with me. Yes, I have. Hell yes. Yes, I've learned this the hard way. Speaking for free or very low fee is a bad choice, usually, unless speaking to a niche market that has buyers present. Absolutely. Oh, I said we're going to keep this one anonymous, but Diane said something really smart right there. Speaking as a marketing tool, when you decide that speaking is going to be a marketing tool, then it's a value for value adjustment on the fee. Speaking when you have a high degree of confidence that there's 4, 5, 6 clients in that audience, not because the prospect told you so, but because you targeted them and you want to get in front of them, that's a different story. That's a different story. So we have sure, yes. We have 3 yeses. Yes with 5 exclamation points. Yes, OMG, yes. Giddy up. Yes to the cheaple. Unfortunately, yeah, okay. So there you go. I'm glad it wasn't just me, guys. I'm feeling a little bit better about myself back in 2003 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, and when I was doing this all the wrong way as well. So the harsh truth that I mentioned a moment ago is that your prospects do want to buy. Your prospects do actually want to buy. But by charging too little and staying focused on the prospects who can afford your too low fees, you may have been even cutting yourself off from premium clients who are looking for the premium experts who charge premium fees. Notice, I'm not saying they're willing to pay. I'm not saying that they're able to pay. I'm saying that they're looking to pay. They're looking to pay. You charge less than that market rate for a premium speaker, meaning $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. You come in less than that, and they're asking themselves, well, how good can this person be? How good can this person be? How real is this person's value after all, if they're willing to take $1,500 for a gig? Which brings us to stop looking for gigs, start solving problems. If you position yourself only as a speaker, you'll be subject to the meetings industry ups and downs. Problem solvers, on the other hand, are always more in demand when things get ugly. So how do you get on their radar? Ask yourself these questions. Who wants a specific outcome? What conditions are changing? Who stands to win faster if they implement what you have to teach and preach? Who stands to lose or not lose if they had access to your help? So you want to scan some headlines, trends, news, industry shifts. The bottom line here, folks, is if you solve bigger problems, you get bigger checks. Our client, Mike Thompson, came to us, 30-year seasoned veteran. He was in the education market. wanted to break into the corporate market and build a serious business and get off the gig to gig hamster wheel. In his own words, when Mike came to us, he said, I am really good right now at hunting wabbits. And I don't want to hunt wabbits. In other words, get the gig, do the gig, get the gig, do the gig, get the gig, do the gig. He wanted to move away from that transactional model. And here's how he came out on the other side of our mentorship program. We decided that to break into the business market for him, the best and fastest path was through corporate sponsorship. So he says, I got one sponsor on the line for a $50,000 deal and another one just closed for $75,000 a year for 3 years. So that's $225,000. I can't say enough about David personally, and his mentoring program made all the difference. I've stopped hunting wabbits and I'm finally building a real business around my speaking. So that's what happens when you start to think differently and move away from professional speaker and move towards professional problem solver. And when you also, because Mike's fees before were $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, now you can't even talk to him for less than $6,500, and a lot of his gigs he's getting $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 each. Having really been very comfortable at that $2,000 or $3,000 education market, once in a while he would go out and he would do a corporate gig for $3,500, $4,000. Now he won't even talk to you for less than $6,500, and his average fees are between $7,500 and $10,000, and he's getting these in bulk. He's getting these in bulk using our corporate sponsorship strategy that we teach in our mentorship program. Third shift is stop focusing. I know you hear a lot about focus, focus, focus. I'm going to tell you to stop focusing. So is this the best advice or the worst advice when you hear focus, focus, focus? If you focus wrong, you end up presenting yourself like a one-trick pony. You look like, sound like every other single topic speaker. So the question arises, should you be focused or should you be broad? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You should be focused and broad. Here's what I mean. Start combining different areas of your expertise and your experience and your background. Find overlapping areas of your own domain knowledge, topics, building blocks, ingredients, the phases and stages of the kind of work that you do. Find competing priorities that actually are supplementary and complementary to each other. Discover surprising adjacencies of what goes with what, unlikely combinations, things that you can start to put together that no one else is doing or no one else is talking about. So I'll give you a very common example, very common trap that people fall into. And I see this on speaker websites and speaker one sheets and on LinkedIn and everywhere. Speakers and experts who offer 17 different topics or programs. We call this foreground background confusion because it looks like a total grocery bag. It looks like a mess. And what you really need here is a unifying theme to all of that. Your distinction will come from the combination of things that you do. So I'll give you the best example here is our client Scott McClymans, who runs a company called CEO Velocity. He says it's a consulting and coaching firm helping leaders of financial institutions and mid-market businesses acquire ideal customers and build profitable relationships. Great. Boom. That's what he does. That's the value prop right there, front and center on the homepage. How he does it and how he's unfocusing and combining is, listen to this. From my background in business intelligence, area number 1, marketing strategy, area number 2, corporate leadership, area number 3, and small business ownership, area number 4, I know companies live or die based on their ability to define and attract ideal customers, develop leaders and employees focused on those customers, empower them with the systems and knowledge to create and deliver great customer value. So what he is saying, it's a combination of leadership, marketing, and business intelligence. The overlap of those 3 areas is where Scott's a rock star. So this has gotten him on the cover of the major industry publications in his niche. He's got columns. His company name is CEO Velocity. He also writes the CEO Velocity column in some credit union magazines and newspapers, journals. Some of them are newsprint, some are glossy magazines. On his website, his media page looks like this. It is actually 5 screens deep. It just keeps going and going and going and going with about 50 some different articles and CEO profiles that he's done in his niche. This is the simplest way to stand out from the pack. So if you say, I operate at the intersection of A and B and C, just like Scott McClymonds operates at the intersection of leadership, marketing, and business intelligence. I operate, for example, at the intersection of marketing, sales, and business development, right? Growing your business, expanding your revenue streams, adding plus, plus, plus to your speaking plus business model, right? That is our source of distinction. And that overlap area, that sweet spot area, are there a whole bunch of leadership speakers? There are. Are there a whole bunch of business analysis and metrics kind of gurus? Yes. Are there a whole bunch of marketing speakers in the banking and credit union industry? Yes. But the way Scott positions himself is 1 + 1 + 1 = 10. So that's the best way to unfocus your expertise. Show your freak flag. Bring in your past jobs, your past careers, your surprising adjacencies, your unique combination of what you've lived through, what you've done, who you've been. These are the ways that our best clients can distinguish themselves and truly stand out from the pack. So having seen that, I want you to commit right now. Name one way that you can start combining your background and just put in like 3 topics. I mentioned mine are marketing, sales, business development. I showed you Scott. Scott is leadership, marketing, and analytics. What are the 3 things that you could bring to the speaking-driven marketplace that perhaps only you can bring, and it would put a very unique spin and a very unique value proposition in place because of who you are and what you've done and where you've been? So what's your 1 + 1 + 1? What's your topic plus topic plus topic overlap strategy? And I'd love to see some of these in the chat window. Go ahead and type those in. I'm just going to take a drink while you're typing. And let's see what people are putting in. So we got leadership, marketing, and new media. Ooh, I like that. Presentation skills, tech background, and not quite thinking of a third. So Diane, you got a little bit of homework to do. That's cool. Deanne says leadership and generations and team development. Like that. Marnie's business training, biblical success principles, and reaching the world. Wow, that's interesting. Casey says leadership, sales, and speaking. We got some enthusiastic comments here for, yeah, this is great, this is brilliant, you're a genius. Okay, that's great. I want to hear yours though. Don't call me a genius. I want to hear your combinations. I want to hear what you're doing here. Employment litigator, business owner, and leadership. Love that. Change management, org culture plus leadership. Yeah, now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. Legacy, asset protection, and then retirement, quality of life. Nice. Creative problem solving, overcoming hurdles, and Vietnam era veteran. Wow, that's interesting. And then Mary says leadership, communication, and workplace development. Margaret says emotional intelligence plus communication plus there's a third one hiding in there somewhere. There it is, leadership. And then Francis says communications, leadership, and technology. You see how this is so powerful. Are you guys feeling the energy behind this? Where if you go to the marketplace, you say, hey, I'm not just a one-trick pony. I'm not focused. You know what? I'm unfocused because I bring together 3 of these interconnected things. One of them is not enough. 2 of them is not enough. You need all 3. And then you base your value prop and your messaging around your 1 + 1 + 1 = 10 overlay strategy. And now you really become a category of 1. As our friend Joe Calloway likes to say. You become the drop-dead go-to person very few people in your niche and in your market are going to articulate this overlay strategy the way that you're going to do it. And this makes you stand out. Now, having said that, of course, you also need to back this up. It's a great idea to say, oh, okay, but how do you implement? How do you back that up? How do you convey that so that there's a level of trust and belief and credibility behind it? But this is a huge, huge leap ahead of what you might already have been doing. So let's catch up with Scott. Coming out the end of our program, he says, very excited about the results. In the pipeline are 3 paid speaking engagements at high-profile leadership conferences, a large systems project with a top 10 U.S. bank, credit union CEO mastermind groups that he started, a year-long CEO leadership intensive with the largest state-based credit union trade association, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. That was just the beginning of when he started to really leverage this overlap and overlay strategy. Because were there a lot of guys in the credit union and banking and financial world that were talking about marketing? Yes. Talking about leadership? Yes. Talking about analytics? Yes. All in one guy, and who could connect the dots between what was missing between and among all 3 of them? Category of one. Category of one. And they hired him, and they booked him, and they passed him around like candy. Shift number 4 is stop learning. Oh my gosh, I had so many of our clients come to us after admittedly being course junkies, info junkies, going to every boot camp under the sun, signing up for this program, signing up for this weekend, signing up for this mastermind and that program. I'll tell you guys, stop learning. It's time to start doing. And you want a doing program, you don't want a learning program. You've probably learned too much. If you're like me, right, the more you learn, the more you realize there is a vortex of conflicted advice out there. Some people say, oh, you have to make 100 cold calls a day. Other people say, I'm running a $500,000-$600,000 business, speaking, training, coaching, consulting. I've never made a single cold call. Cold calls are stupid. Someone else says, oh, you got to master social media. Someone like me says social media is a total waste of time. Stop wasting time on social media. You need a sales process. You need a value proposition. You need a high-touch, trusted advisor marketing program. You need to implement on a daily basis outreach and prospecting that's a low-volume, high-relationship campaign. Now, again, you could fight. You could argue. You could watch all the YouTube videos. You could sign up for all the boot camps and the courses. Learning is not going to move the needle. Doing is going to move the needle, and that's what we do with our clients. So any self-admitted course junkies or learning junkies, have you spent too much money on courses, info products, boot camps, weekends that promised the moon and left you holding the binder and saying, well, now what? Now what? I call all of these programs, by the way, now what programs, because it's like they get you excited, they get you pumped up, there's the big music, there's the lights, there's the big stages, you get the big binder, they sell you more crap from the stage, they rope you into some other stuff to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, and you're still left saying, now what? So have you spent too much money on these now what programs? I'm wondering if there's any kind of now what veterans in here with me. Yeah, overthinking, that's me. Yes, you're 1,000% right on this one. Yes, 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 course junkie. Telling myself right now to stop. Aim, 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 but not firing. Guilty as charged. Yes. LOS, yes. A lot of programs that tell you what you should do and why you should do it, but never give you the how. I'll tell you, this makes me nuts. And we have a half dozen. We have a half dozen of our alumni that are live on this call right now. So Mike knows what I'm talking about. Mary knows what I'm talking about. Sam knows what I'm talking about. Casey almost knows what I'm talking about, but we're having some fun. Yeah, so you guys know that this is what we do in our mentorship program is 100% now what. It picks up from the, oh, here's what to do, here's why, here's what we recommend, now what. How do I implement? How do I get into action? What do I say? What do I send at every single step of the process? Nothing left out, nothing left to chance, nothing is assumed. It is square zero to sale. From initial contact through signed contract, what to do. The reason I share that is simply because it infuriates me so much that I am competing with these now what programs that overpromise the moon and underdeliver and leave you holding the binder saying, now what? To me, that is criminal. To me, that is unethical. My mission, and our whole team's mission actually, is to eradicate that kind of program and leave you with the high integrity programs that actually help you cross the finish line and get $10, $15, $20,000 a month in the door above and beyond what you're doing now. So, same thing, by the way, in your world. So even though I just ranted there a little bit about my world, let's flip this over into your world now. Are you just providing information or are you providing transformation? So you're doing project management, leadership, team building, public speaking, sales. You have all these great topics that you told me about. Are you giving people information or are you, like are you taking them over the finish line? Here's what the finish line looks like. Information is a commodity. Inspiration, also a commodity. Recommendation, do this, don't do that. Try it this way, don't try it that way, right? This is all freely available online right now. I can show you 1,000 blog posts and 5,000 YouTube videos that are filled with information, inspiration, and recommendation. Where you're going to move the needle for your clients is implementation and transformation. That's where the money is made because that's why they're paying you. Do you know how I know that's why they're paying you? Because that's why our clients pay us. They're not here for more information. They're not here for more learning. They're not here to find out and discover. They're here to implement, get into action, kick butt, take names, get checks in the door, and make it happen. And I would apply that same litmus test to you. If you're teaching project management, if you're speaking on leadership, team building, innovation, customer service, marketing, parenting, personal finance, health, wellness, doesn't matter. Are you taking people to level 4 and level 5 with your speaking, training, coaching, and consulting? Often a speech is not enough. You want to have the speech and a follow-up program, a speech with consulting, a speech with some repetition, reinforcement, application that will help them implement, help them get the transformation that they've wanted all along. So it's not about expertise, it's really about applied expertise. Application, implementation, and results is worth 10 times information or motivation. My mantra here is don't just tell them, show them. Real world, do this now, action steps of what needs to happen. It's not about your ideas when you're speaking, training, coaching, or consulting. It's really not about your ideas. It's about their results when they apply your ideas. So think about the golden triangle. I've shared this in other webinars. You've seen this before. Speaking builds awareness, right? You're going to have a training profit center that is specifically designed for skills transfer. There's no real skills transfer when you just speak. And then you want to make this a permanent capability, a permanent competency in that client. Then you need some consulting and coaching implementation because that's what fosters the behavior change. And then you keep going around the golden triangle. More speaking leads to more training, leads to more consulting and coaching, but everything is centered on the outcomes. Notice in the center of the golden triangle is the word outcomes. Outcomes are vitally, vitally, vitally important. Now, in our business, same sort of thing, right? It's a combination of 3 things. Training, meaning that we teach it, and you can steal this model, of course, right? You teach it. In our world, after we teach it, we also coach you through it, process issues, answer questions, remove obstacles, kick your butt into gear. And then we give you the specific marching orders and the action steps that you need to implement day after day, week after week, month after month, and we keep you accountable for doing so. So that's called done with you. And the results in our world are adding $10 or $15 or $20,000 per month to your speaking-driven business. That is our outcome. Everything that we teach, everything that we mentor, everything that we coach, everything that we help you implement, every accountability check-in, every weekly mentorship call is what have you done? Let's celebrate your wins. Let's get you marching orders for the next part of the puzzle. And the result that we're aiming for is $5, $10, $15,000 gigs 2, 3, 4 times a month. 5, 10, $15,000 coaching clients 2, 3, 4 times a month. 5, 10, $15,000 training days 3, 4 times a month. Whatever you want that answers the question, how busy do you want to be and how much money do you want to make? That's what we help you define, decide, implement, and create. Way more than just the top of the triangle about teaching. Way more than a boot camp, way more than a binder, way more than like some podcasts and some audios and some fun stuff, right? The teaching part is almost the commodity. The teaching, but let me blow your mind here, because it's true in my business, it's true in your business. The teaching part is almost the commodity. If you're having a hard time getting a good fee for your consulting, your mentor programs, your workshops, your roundtables, your speeches, keynotes, seminars, trainings, it's because you've got 1/3 of the puzzle dialed in. And you're not doing the mentoring or coaching component. You're not doing the action steps and the implementation, and you're not focused on your clients' and audience's results. If we were less hell-bent on our clients' and audience's results, do you think they'd get more or less results? We're really hell-bent on their results, and so they get good results quickly. If we took the foot off the gas, imagine how much people would get lost in the weeds or would wander off the ranch or pick the metaphor of your choice. It would not be good. It would not be good. So my question is, as much as I love the golden triangle in our business, could you use the golden triangle in your business? And type the word triangle if you're committed to having all 3 legs of this triangle firing at 100% for you. Type in the word triangle in the chat window, and let's see how many transformational experts we have on this call. Information, nice to have. Transformation is a have to have. So let's see what you got here. Triangle, golden triangle. Oh yes, on the triangle. Absolutely yes. Triangle with multiple exclamation points. Mike, who's a current client of ours active in the program, says absolutely yes, and we're designing it that way now. Francis says triangle. Triangle from Diane, triangle from Matt. Yeah, exactly. Raven says, I'm all about giving strategies that lead to transformation. But you have to also hold them accountable, and you have to make sure they implement, and you have to sometimes lovingly give them a kick in the butt to make sure they implement. And Mary's all about the triangle. Matt says boom, and Corinne says triangle as well. Excellent. So let's talk about the gold at the end of the rainbow. The pot of gold at the end of the proverbial rainbow. This is really about 3 things that make up a rainbow. The rain is the specific urgent problems that you solve. The light that comes from the sun illuminates their realities, their challenges, their obstacles, and their gaps. And then the spectrum, the rainbow spectrum, is the solutions that you have in your toolkit that they can act on, implement, use right away. What are the needle movers? How can you help them get some quick wins? What is it you can put in place with your training or coaching or consulting or seminars or online courses that would give them the obvious shortest path to results, the obvious shortest path to the outcomes and the impact and the improvements that they're paying you for? So don't just say, hey, we're going to teach it. Teaching is an input. Speaking is an input. Coaching and consulting and training are inputs. What are the needle movers and the quick wins and the low-hanging fruit that you can show them? This improved, this changed, this went up. Wait till you see the next step. Wait till you see the next phase. Because they're really buying from you the results, the outcomes, and the improvements. Obviously, if those clients don't implement, they're not going to get any results. But this is why I want you to have an implementation program and an applied expertise program, not just a teaching or an expertise program. So let's look at our client, Tony Lucero, who came through and really embraced this whole philosophy. He says, long story short, I picked up 2 coaching clients totaling $32,400. and I'm on retainer for 90 days at $10,000 per month with the company. So that's $62,400 right then and there. The reason I'm telling you all this is not to boast, but I was doing the activity that David outlines and focused on what I wanted to attract in my business that allowed the doors to be open. Stay the course, do the work, and know your target market. Know your target market, right? Solve the problems that they need solved. Move the needles that they need moved. Deliver the results that they need delivered. And then at that point, the pocketbooks are open. And then I put down here, love, love, love these results, energy, and momentum. Go, Tony. And then Tony says, your program, David, made this possible. Well, yes, but guess what? He did the work. He did the work. He got on the plane. He went out to the client. He talked problem-solving language instead of speaker language. And these are the results. These are the results. He was already a somewhat successful speaker, booking $5,000, $6,000 gigs, but he had never thought about this problem-solving model and how else he could help move the needle using the Golden Triangle methodology. So he helped them buy what they wanted to buy. He wasn't hell-bent on selling them just the next speech. And $62,400 later, that turned out to be a pretty good call for Tony. So last shift number 5, stop paying your dues. I always ask people, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? Seriously. So does that mean you have to speak for free? Does that mean that you have to pay your dues? You have to go, undercharge, under-earn. You have to start small. You have to do that painful, slow, incremental climb up the fee mountain that I was telling you about. I'm not ready to charge more. I'm not good enough to charge more. I'm just in this for X number of years, 1, 3, 10, 27, put in the number, right? You're never experienced enough. You're never smart enough. No, guys, no. That is crazy talk. It's time to start paying your bills. So if you're tired of undercharging and under-earning, and that's a relative term, by the way. That is a relative term. We've had folks come into our program, they're charging $10,000 per keynote, $10,000 per training day. They were undercharging because they hadn't moved that fee up in 8 years. They had not moved that fee up in 8 years. By this point in time, they should have been charging $15 or $17.5, but they kept it comfortable. And I know for some of you guys, you're thinking, wow, that's insane, $10,000 a day, and these guys are, they're still undercharging and under-earning. That's a relative term, right? If you should be at $5,000, but you're taking ones and twos, you're taking a $1,000, $2,000 fee, then you're undercharging and under-earning for where you're at. If you're a $15,000 speaker and you should have been 18 3 years ago, $15,000, believe it or not, you're undercharging, you're under-earning. So please take that as a relative term, even if you're a seasoned pro. Fees are a filter for your best clients. Fees are also a filter for them for who they look at. It is possible that you've been underpricing yourself out of the markets that you want to play in because they look at you, they look at your speaking fee schedule, they talk to you, and they say, well, she's too cheap. She's too cheap. How good can she possibly be? Dozens and dozens and dozens of our clients have reported back that when they circled back with the buyer, why didn't you pick me? Can we have a quick 10-minute chat? Would love to learn from the experience. The ones that were willing to have that conversation, more times than not, it was your fee was too low. Your fee was too low. It was, oh, we couldn't possibly afford you. It wasn't that. It was your fee was too low, and I had a real hard time convincing the committee that you were the real deal. So think about that the next time that you want to lowball a speaking fee or a coaching fee or a consulting fee. Premium clients expect premium fees. We talked about that. It's not about what you need to earn. It's really about what they need to pay psychologically to take you seriously. So if you build out your revenue model, and some of you guys have done this, and I'm sure many of you have not, took me a couple years to figure out that, hey, I can be in charge of my income. I can be in charge of my revenue. I can adjust the dials. Speaking, training, coaching, consulting, licensing, sponsorship, there's a whole lot more that I did not put on this slide, but speaking at least is $6,500, $7,500, $10,000, $12,000, maybe even all the way up to $18,000 for some of our clients. Training days, same exact fee schedule. coaching programs, coaching packages, anywhere from $9,000 to $15,000 for 90 days. Consulting, easily $5, $10, $20, $30,000 a month, like you saw with Tony Lucero, and that's very, very common. In fact, that number is low. Licensing deals, easily $50K, $100K, sometimes even in the multiple six figures, to license your intellectual property to a big Fortune 500 company for unlimited internal use. That's a profit center for some of our clients. And sponsorship, like you saw with Mike Thompson, getting a $75,000 a year, 3-year sponsorship with a corporate sponsored speaking model. That could easily bring in $25,000, $100,000, $200,000 or more. With all of these things, guys, if these numbers seem incredibly high to you, it's about mindset, it's about value, it's about talking to the right buyers with the right language, with the right messaging. It's about repositioning yourself that 5, 10, 15%, and these numbers get very real very quickly. These numbers get very real very quickly. So I'll give you an example. Susan Robertson, very successful consultant, came into our program, had never really been paid to speak, and at least not more than $1,000. Here's a Facebook message, just got another gig for $12,500 for a day. I'm steadily raising my fees and so far getting it. I'm still not getting as many as I want, but I'm getting more for the ones I'm getting, so I'm happy with my progress. Then she says, hey, I've got this $30,000 gig, and I hadn't heard about that one for a couple of weeks. I said, hey, how's your $30,000 gig coming along? Did that one close? And she says, yes, it's in 2 weeks. Yes, it's in 2 weeks. I love that answer. I love that answer. It makes my little screenshot itchy trigger finger get all excited. So this is what I mean about take the helicopter right to the top. You do not need this slow, long, painful, step-by-step incremental process, right? Susan had the chops in the background, and we worked on the marketing and the positioning and the packaging, the messaging, where she immediately presented herself as a $12,500 speaker and started landing gigs. And then she got some bigger gigs, and she got this $30,000 thing. And now her get out of bed number is $10,000. She won't leave the house, even go down the street to a client for less than $10,000. She's usually getting 12, 5, or 15. She's doing a 2-day program for 30. She's doing a 3-day program for 45 or 50, and up from there. Instant marketplace adjustment to reflect her true value. Let me repeat that. Instant marketplace adjustment with our help to reflect her true value. So what you need to win. Escape the stuckness curve. Don't be so sure. Stop looking for gigs. Start solving problems. Start taking a drink. Stop focusing and start combining. 1 + 1 + 1 = 10. Move away from information towards transformation, applied expertise. Stop paying your dues, start paying your bills. And now you have a choice. Choices: keep going the way you were going when you came out of this webinar. Old activity, old results, keep being stuck, treading water financially, maybe even a slow decline of where your finances would like to go. Not reaching that next level of clients who are maybe retiring, your phone's not ringing the way it used to. Time to refresh, time to pivot, time to change things up. With no support and no accountability and no guidance, I know that can be a hard and lonely road. The other option is to book a call with our team, and that can all end today. So we're going to help you diagnose, pardon me, we're going to help you diagnose what's really going on, like with a phlegmy throat. We're going to help you find the strategic gaps in what you're doing with all the things we talked about, literally all the things we talked about today. Help you refocus, reframe, reboot what you're doing, look at what needs to be fixed with your messaging, with your packaging, with your positioning, your pricing, marketing, sales, business development. Basically, fill in the puzzle pieces of what's missing for you to consistently get clients that you love and finally earn what you deserve. And I'm going to pop that URL just into the chat window right before we start our Q&A. So you have that handy. Hopefully that came across as a hot clickable link. And then let's talk about this for a minute, then we'll kick into our Q&A, because I want to see what questions you guys have about any of the teaching that we did today, or the mentorship program, what Susan experienced, what Tony experienced, what Mike experienced, all of those folks. So we've set aside some time to speak to you personally about how you can apply these ideas today for anything that you feel might be missing, funky, broken, sad, not optimized, how we can apply this to your business where you are right now, starting today. The cost of these calls is free. And the URL is, again, on the screen in the chat window. It's doitmarketing.com/apply. The only catch, it's truly not for everybody. So I'm going to maybe disqualify some people here. If building a high-fee speaking-driven business is not your number one priority for the next 3 to 6 months, you probably shouldn't book a call. Probably not ready, probably not serious, not a priority for you. Don't worry about it. If you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, so if you're an amateur, you're a dabbler, you're a hobbyist, you're the course junkie that we talked about, that's throwing all kinds of spaghetti against the wall. You don't have to have that decided, but you can't be a dabbler. You can't be an amateur. You can't take this anything less than 100% seriously as the next step in your professional revenue generating career. It's not for you if you refuse to follow a proven process and you refuse to take action on instructions. It's also not for you if you're so stuck in your low-fee mindset, your poverty mindset, your poverty-based business model. In other words, you need to be coachable. You need to be open to changing and doing that immediate marketplace adjustment that we talked about, and let go of the struggle. If you're married to the struggle, this is probably not a good call for you to have. And then the last one, if you're down to your last few dollars, you need to pay the rent this month. I told you earlier, it makes me so mad with the course junkies and the binders and the get rich quick. This is no get rich quick in here. You are not going to be an instant overnight millionaire. You're not going to win the lottery. This is not going to be magic unicorns, chicks, ducks, and bunnies. This is going to be some good, hard, serious work for the next 60 to 90 days. And that's what we're going to do for you. So this is for you if you're serious, decisive, and committed to making your business profitable over the next 60 days. Whether you've done a little bit of paid speaking or you're on the other end of the spectrum and you're a seasoned pro, 25, 30-year veteran, Speaker Hall of Fame, already very successful, and you want to get to the next level of your success. So in other words, what I'm saying here is there's no such thing as too early in your career, and there's no such thing as too late. If you're serious, if you're not an amateur and a dabbler and a goofball, we would love to help you get started right. We'd help you in that mid-career phase, talk to you about what you're doing right and some things you can do differently. And then track 3, the most advanced phase, how you can really ramp it up and go from 100 miles an hour into hyperspace. Whether you've got your niche or message nailed down or not, whether you're in this full-time or maybe you're still working a day job, planning your escape, that is fine. We've had some of our biggest breakthroughs and our biggest success stories, actually, with some folks that are not only on their entrepreneurial journey, but some folks that are looking to escape the corporate 9-to-5 and building this on the side. You're willing to follow a proven process to ramp up revenue, and you take mentorship and direction well. And most importantly, that you are determined and you are serious about putting 10 to 20K in your pocket over the next 60 to 90 days and build a predictable flow of clients and cash. So if that's you, go to doitmarketing.com/apply. Calendar link is going to show up. After the calendar link, there's going to be a questionnaire. You want to hang out back here with me, do our Q&A right now. We'll answer your questions. Fill out that questionnaire as soon as we're done so that you reserve your time and we can hit the ground running with your consultation with our team. So here's why we're doing this. There's no big secret here. On the call, we're going to help you get total clarity about exactly what you want your business to look like and the exact steps that you should take to achieve your goals. If you want our help and if we think it's a good fit in both directions, we may invite you to work with us and we may not. Either way, My promise to you, it's going to be the most valuable 45 minutes that you'll invest to grow your speaking-driven business and help you get real results. So if you're interested in a rapid breakthrough, you want to book a call with the team, that is the URL, doitmarketing.com/apply. I am happy to hang out here, answer questions, type the questions in the question box. I know we had some questions come in earlier as we were doing our interactive kind of, polling and what do you think about this and what do you think about that? If you asked a question earlier, I apologize, I missed it in the flurry of responses. Feel free to type it again. Any questions about the content of today's teaching? Any questions about your particular situation? Any questions that were sparked by some of the ideas that we talked about here with anything around marketing, messaging, outreach, sales, prospecting, the success stories that you saw, any questions that I can help you with to help you move the needle on where you are, even if you're deciding to book a call, which is fantastic, and I see some people are already scheduling because my phone is lighting up here with the calendar items. That's doitmarketing.com/apply, and I'll put that just in the chat window one more time. Or actually, Morgan just did that, so one step ahead of me. One step ahead of me, as always. I love that. Thank you. I was just going to pop that in myself. So, what can I help with? Type in the questions. We'll kind of just get to them in order, and would love to help you guys with some of this. Marnie says, thank you. Always so inspired. Thank you. Impressive. Okay, cool. Thank you. That wasn't a question. That was a thank you. So, Marnie, thank you for hanging out here with us. Sam is saying, can you say more about sponsorship? What kind of sponsors are paying him to do what? Fantastic question. So sponsorship is a big topic. The best way I can describe it succinctly, Sam, for you and for everybody, is think of it in terms of triangles. There is a sponsor at the top of the triangle. There's you and me on the second leg of the triangle. And then there's a third-party audience that sponsor wants to reach or wants to impact. So imagine if I'm a small business marketing speaker, which I am, if a regional bank hired me, paid me money to come into the bank, not to teach and train the bank employees, but to teach and train the bank's entrepreneurial clients. And especially if the bank says, you know who we want, David? We really want to get more deposits and do more lending with doctors, dentists, lawyers, and accountants. And we come up with a plan. We say, okay, the bank is doing a grow your wellness practice, grow your medical practice, grow your dental practice seminars brought to you by outside expert David Newman, who's a marketing expert. And I can help the doctors, lawyers, accountants grow their practice, get more clients, make more money. I'm being paid by the bank, but I'm presenting to the doctors or the dentists or the lawyers. So you see how that triangle works? And what Mike Thompson did, I'll give you a couple examples of this. What Mike Thompson did is he did his school program, and then he went to a regional retailer that had about 8 or 10 big stores, and they wanted more foot traffic from parents of young children because young families spend a lot of money in this retail store. So he did a whole campaign around, parenting and about bring your kids into the store. And there were parenting seminars. There were entrepreneurship seminars. There were communication seminars, how to communicate with your family, how to communicate with your kids, how to communicate, all these kinds of things. And so he took a subset of his expertise, having been a 30-year education speaker, connected with this retailer who wanted more foot traffic from young families and kids and parents, and said, we're going to hire Mike to be our mouthpiece and to be our gift, basically, to these young families. And we want to have special events at the store. We want to drive more traffic. We want to do TV and radio ads. We want to do some print ads in the newspaper. We want to have a couponing strategy. Mike helped them achieve a marketing goal. So think of this in terms of, let's say it's a big technology company. They want to bring you in to talk to their resellers. Think of a big financial services company. They want you to talk to their high net worth clients. Think about a pharmaceutical company that wants you to go out and talk to doctors, nurses, and patients. So that's the three-part equation that you can start thinking of creatively for a sponsorship strategy that fits for you. So Sam, does that make sense as far as your world and where this might apply? And Sandra's question was the same thing about, can you talk more about sponsorships? So I did. Let's see. Well, Jane said something very nice. If this is the information you provide for free, one can only imagine the incredible value and transformation that you provide for paying clients. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And some of the folks on this call, like Mike and Mary and Sam and Steve, can tell you that, I hope they can tell you that's the case. And they probably wouldn't be coming back onto the free stuff, even though they're in our paid mentorship program, if they weren't having a great time in both arenas, both the free side and the investable opportunity side of what we do. So thank you, Jane. I appreciate that kind comment. All right. So let's see. Elinda's asking, what does the process look like? So what does our mentorship process look like? So it's fairly intense, and it is a program where we get together on a video conference call twice a week. And just like I mentioned here, it is answering questions, processing issues, removing obstacles, giving you marching orders, because everyone comes in. Here's the deal. When people say, can you describe the program? I say, well, I really can't, because someone that comes in on a track one, right, where they're an emerging speaker, they've got no assets built, they've got no business, they've maybe even never been paid to speak, is going to have a very different trajectory, a very different first couple of weeks with us than someone who is a Hall of Fame speaker already making 15 or 18,000. They're working on different stuff, they're working on different strategies, they're working on different kinds of things. I will tell you that everybody comes in with different levels of assets, different levels of experience, different goals, different things in their toolkit. What we do is we get you up to speed as quickly as we possibly can with all of the things we talked about today: the marketing, the messaging, the packaging, the prospecting, the outreach, the sales. If there's a sponsorship play, if there's a licensing play, if you want to have an online program, what we do is we map out with you and for you. And this even starts on the breakthrough call. So when you go to doitmarketing.com/apply, we'll figure out what should be your speaking model and service model and revenue model. What makes sense given where you are, so that first you walk and then you run and then you fly. And then we carry that through, should we invite you into the program, we carry that through to implementation. Implementation, weekly marching orders, support from our entire team. So there's marketing training, there's sales training, there's copy coaching, there's all kinds of things that you get to support you. And that's that third leg of the triangle, right? There's the teaching, there's the coaching, and there's the done with you. So between the teaching and the coaching and the done with you, we are really putting some positive pressure on you to generate results. And that's how things unfold during the course of our mentorship program. If you're really curious, and we can really kind of figure out together if we can help you or not, I would recommend booking a call at doitmarketing.com/apply. If we can't help you, by the way, we will tell you. We will tell you. We never invite someone in unless we have a very strong degree of confidence that we can help you generate the results and some of the success stories that you saw on today's masterclass. All right, so Sandra says yes, and Sam says great, thanks, and awesome info, thank you, and now I see the way sponsorship will work. Raven says, as a former CNN radio correspondent and now talk show host, producer, how could I start begins? Oh, fantastic. So again, remember, 1 + 1 + 1 = 10, right? If we dial in a topic, we dial in your expertise and experience and background, that I think is going to be a killer combination. So just like you saw on today's masterclass with Scott McClymonds, his previous careers, not previous jobs, mind you, but previous careers, the previous careers were either a distraction or a puzzle. And we turned the distraction and the puzzle into a huge asset. So that he said, I'm the guy that you call when you are at the intersection of leadership, marketing, and business intelligence. And then he was able to articulate the pains, problems, hassles, heartaches, headaches, and challenges that his clients and audiences were typically experiencing when they had just one or just two of those three areas fully dialed in. So solving a problem in a one-dimensional mode often doesn't solve the problem. So Raven, what I would say is book a call with the team. Let's kind of unpack this for you, how to get that overlap and overlay going so that you become a true category of one, to borrow my friend Joe Calloway's saying. It's also a great book, by the way, Category of One. And let's get you in and let's figure out how to make that happen in your world, given your assets and your experience and your background, and that's fantastic. And Mike, very kindly, who's a current mentoring client of ours, Mike is saying, it's inspirational. It's inspirational. So I'm thrilled, Mike, that you're on here, and that's great. All right. What else? Deanne, well, this isn't a question, but I want to acknowledge the bravery of this statement. Deanne's conclusion here is sad. I have been giving away my expertise at target rates, right? Target meaning the store. So my good friend Mark Hunter has a great saying about this, not about Target, but about Walmart, is it's hard to turn a Walmart shopper into a Nordstrom's customer, right? It's hard to turn a Walmart shopper into a Nordstrom's customer. We spend a lot of time at Target or Walmart. Guess who we're going to find? We're going to find Target and Walmart clients. We're going to get Target and Walmart fees. We're going to have a Target and Walmart career. And we're not even walking into the Nordstroms. We're not even meeting people who shop at Nordstrom's. We're not even talking to Nordstrom salespeople. We're in the wrong shopping center. What I call looking for love in all the wrong places. And we can fix that. So Deanne, I know you and I are already talking about how to fix that in your world. And that is cool. That is great. And we can do that. And then Jane says, Deanne, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. So yes, amen. And let's fix it. Let's get you guys on a call with the team. Let's see what we can do. Let's dial in your business model, service model, revenue model. Let's fix what we can fix. And if it's a good fit and you want our help, let's talk about how that would work for you. So I'm just going to pop that in. Here's where to book your one-on-one time with our amazing team. There it is again. So let's talk about another question that just popped up is about changing niches. And so the question is about Mike, our client that you just saw. How did he pivot out of education? So he did two things. Number one, he didn't pivot out of education, but he upgraded his education market speaking, meaning K through 12, high schools, etc., education conferences, principals, superintendents, school districts. He upgraded that fee-wise. Excuse me, once again, let's take a quick drink. Upgraded that fee-wise. Second thing that he did is he added a corporate sponsorship layer to it. So he's now getting corporate rates to do his education programs. And then the third thing that he did that I did not talk about that is still a huge success story for him is he now pivoted into doing more corporate speaking and corporate training. So he'd always been a corporate speaker or trainer. Here's what's interesting. The education niche sort of found him. And so that goes back to our conversation about reactive versus proactive. Are you getting the gigs that land on your calendar, or are you pursuing proactively the gigs that you actually want? It is hard enough to make a good living in this business if you don't know what you want. And then it's hard enough to make a good living in this business if you know what you want, but you're not focused on it and you're not going after it and you don't know where to find it. And some other things come in that look like opportunities. And maybe some of those are distractions. Maybe some of those are the wrong market, the wrong fee, the wrong topics, and you just get pulled in. You just get pulled in. So he was able to monetize and maximize the education speaking. He was able to add a corporate sponsorship layer to start getting corporate fees for the education work. And then the third piece of his transformation is he started to get more and more corporate work at corporate fees where he always wanted to be, where he always intended to be, but he could never dial in the proactive, how do I get a systematic marketing and sales process going so that I can get after these folks, build relationships, help them solve problems, excuse me, help them solve problems, and move the needle on what they want as results. So that was the third breakthrough. I didn't talk about that in his case study, but that was the third piece to how his transformation went down. All right. So, Alinda, you're saying that doitmarketing.com is just a single slash after apply. doitmarketing.com/apply. And then if you have any challenge with that, feel free to email our team. It's info@doitmarketing.com, and we will help you find a slot on the calendar. So no problem at all. Most folks seem to have no problem because I'm seeing these bookings come in now. doitmarketing.com/apply. That'll get you the calendar link. That'll get you access to the prep questionnaire. Please do complete that prep questionnaire as completely as you can. That helps our team really kind of figure out where you are, get the information that you want to share with us, and you can really hit the ground running during your one-on-one strategy session. So that's what we're here to do, is to deliver value on that strategy session. If it turns out you'd like our help, we feel it's a good fit, we may invite you in, we may not. Don't take it personally either way. We're here to help the people that we really can help. And we are very, very serious about that commitment. We are not going to enroll you into something that you're not going to profit from. We are not going to invite you into something that will not work for you. And like I said a few minutes ago, we'll tell you before you have a chance to tell us that this might not be a fit or this might not really work. Having integrity is really, really important to our entire business and our entire team. All right, and Corinne is saying, will you and the team be at the NSA Influence Conference in Dallas? And the answer is yes. I'm actually doing a little bit of presenting. I'm wrapping up my year of hosting Voices of Experience for NSA, welcoming in some new people. It should be a fun time. So I am going to be, Corinne, at that NSA Influence event in Dallas. And also my very good friend Corey Perlman is one of the conference co-chairs. So it's always going to be fun to just watch his success and celebrate what he's doing as well. All right, Jane says, this was great. Sandra says, already scheduled. Ready to rock. You've done an amazing job with VOE. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, listen, I love you guys. I hope we have a chance to work together. Thank you for being on today's masterclass. These are always tremendous fun. I just love interacting live, and the great questions and the back and forth is very, very exciting and very, very fun for me. If you think we can help on that breakthrough call, book a time. I think we still have some times left tomorrow and possibly even Friday. doitmarketing.com/apply is the magic link. Elinda, if you have any trouble with that, feel free to email us at info@doitmarketing.com, and we'll find a slot on the calendar for you. And have a great rest of your week, guys. Thanks for being on today. You're awesome. We'll talk next time.